about multi-vendor events, and I just thought I would start off by clearing up exactly what I meant by multi-vendor events, because for those of you that are in my Thrive community and my Thrive program, multi-hostess events is one of the things that we've been focusing on in our summer sales bootcamp. And a multi-hostess, hi Leah, is different than a multi-vendor. Multi-hostess is where you have a number of different hostesses, and we've kind of worked through how to do that and blah, blah. Multi-vendor is where you have a bunch of different vendors. So you might have a 31 girl, you might have Stella girl, you might have a Epicure girl, a number of different companies and brands coming together to create an online event. This would be in like the face-to-face world. This would be your in-person vendor events, right? But just taking that and taking it online. So these have literally exploded since COVID hit and we started to get more comfortable in the online world. And I feel like every time I'm turning around, I'm getting another question from my team, from my different programs into my different communities on how to maximize these type of events, how to even show up inside of them, and most recently, how to plan one yourself, which I have to encourage you guys, if you can take the reins and create something like this, it could be a phenomenal way to boost your business, to get to know other vendors, all the things. So I thought I would pop in here today, and I thought that's what we could talk about today. And I thought I would answer all your questions, but also give you some of my best business tips. Hello, hi guys, on doing a multi-vendor event. So again, it's like a bunch of different vendors. And I know that, I think it was Michelle that mentioned yesterday that, and I might be wrong, doing a small one was really advantageous, that she really liked the fact that there wasn't a million people in there and a million different vendors. And I think that is a really good tip to take note of, is that the number of vendors that you have, the style of vendors that you have, and even their target markets should really align. You want to have vendors that are going to appeal to, like, you still want to have a target audience for this vendor event, right? You still want to be like appealing to the same people. So if you are organizing one, or if you are becoming a part of one, don't be afraid to ask the questions. Who else is going to be a part of this? Where is their target? Like, where are they bringing in people from? Am I responsible for inviting people? Or is this something that's being advertised on Facebook and I just need to come in and offer value? Are people offering prizes? What is it that you need from me? I have seen some really spammy ones in my time where basically somebody was taking money from every single vendor that registered, and it wasn't a big amount, but when you add it up, it really was. And they were basically saying, I'm using this money to advertise this event. And they were taking that money, adding everybody into a group. Those people were still turning around and inviting their own friends. And in theory, they were doing the event themselves, but this person was taking the money. And if you layer in enough vendors, like, they were making out like a bandit for doing basically nothing. So I want you first, anytime that you're going to be a part of something like this, whether it's in person or online, I want you to ask the questions. I want you to find more out about it. And I want to make sure that it does align with you, because you don't have extra time to be just throwing things at the wall and hoping they stick, right? You want to do things that are going to be advantageous towards your business, which is why I'm like, plan them if you can. If you have a little extra time, if you have a few different friends that you could work together with, this could be something that you could work together and plan together. So if you are the one inviting people, I've seen them like, okay, everybody invites 100 people. Ask yourself if this is something that you're comfortable doing. If it's not, then this is not the right opportunity for you. However, if it is, go for it. If you are not the person that's inviting to your friends to something every other time they turn around, then maybe this is something that you could invite them to. So other than that, little tips and tricks. You do want to have a schedule, okay? I've seen some totally go off the rails where people are like, you know what, you're allowed to have 3 posts a day, that's it, but then not give any kind of like, well, during what times of the day, who goes when. The thing is that the more vendors you have on there and the less parameters you set, the more insane the notifications are going to become. So just like any type of party, we talk about online parties, and I've done a lot of coachings on online parties. You do want to ramp these up in a similar way, starting with days based on engagement, and not just like buy from me, buy from me, buy from me in the beginning. Like, you do want to be like focus on that value piece as well. So I think the very first thing, let's pretend that you sign up to be one of these. You are given your time slots, and then you're like, okay, Lori, what next? How do I plan content for this event? First off, I think you need to go in by setting your expectations. What do you want to get out of this event? Because like when we go into an in-person vendor event, I always say it's not about the sales. It's about building your community, getting to meet new people. And that's exactly the same in the online world, right? Sales are going to be a bonus, but what your main thing is to meet new people and to get new faces into your VIP group. So if you know that your end goal is to get new people into your VIP group, could you build content around that? Could you build a contest around that? Could you go live and do like some kind of demonstration on there? Because that live would beat the Facebook algorithms and more people in that group would likely see it. Or could you do some kind of post that gets people commenting, blah, blah, blah. What else do I have for you? So the other big tip that I have for you is that do not forget about the other vendors in the group. If this is a brand, sometimes I will only do brand, well, I'll do many of these because once you've done a few, hi Tracy, once you've done a few, you kind of got a format and you've got some posts saved and you can kind of do tons of them, and they're fun, right? And, but what was I gonna say? Oh yes, do not neglect to meet the other vendors inside this event. These people, this is where the gold is inside multi-vendor events. If you have never met them before, bada boom, bada bang, you just met 6 brand new people that you can collaborate with, that you can work with, that you can shop from one another. You can send them a message behind, like send them a friend request. I do friend requests right away. And then I will look for an opportunity to connect with them. And just like when you guys have probably seen a training that I've done on like in-person vendor events, I go around and I grab everybody's business card. I strike up conversations, get to know them, see who I connect with really naturally, because I really want to build like normal relationships. And then I'll connect with them afterwards and I'll say, hey, like I would love to find a way that we can work together. This is exactly the same in an online world. It's just that you don't have the business card and you're not walking around and getting that face-to-face time, but you can send them a message behind the scenes and be like, hey, I love your style. And you guys, when you're watching these multi-vendor events, you will see who has game and who like is just learning the ropes. And either way, you can also see whose style is very similar to you and who has products that you might be interested in. And so I'll send them a message and be like, hey, I would love to find ways that we could work together and help one another build our businesses. Do you have a VIP group that I could be a part of? And quite naturally, the conversation will start. When we start these relationships, when we start talking to people, it's really, really important that we're not all about ourselves, that we're not all about what can I get from this experience, because the truth is when you're forming relationships, you want to be the giver too. So I want to be in their VIP group. I want to start engaging in their material. I want to be their friend on Facebook. I want to get to know them, because the more you form that real relationship, the more you could really like do with them inside your businesses. So what could you do? Where could you take this new relationship? You guys could do order swaps. So I love doing order swaps because it gives me something, but it's also a way of bringing in volume and commission into my business. So if I need something, you've got to kind of change the way that you shop and the way that you think. Anytime I need a gift, anytime I need to restock something in my house, anytime I need anything, I think to myself, what contact do I have in my database that sells this? And then I go to them and I ask them if they want to do an order swap, so that it's almost like shopping from myself, but it's stocking my house and my life with other products that are amazing. So reverse shopping, right? Rather than heading to Amazon, rather than heading to the mall, I'm going to contacts where I know that the purchase is going to be meaningful, but where I also know that it's going to be bringing something into my life. So this is what you want to do with those other vendors. This is where you can take that relationship after this event. So inside the event, you're going to rock out your different time slots. You're going to go live. You're going to do contests. You're going to focus on what you want to get out of this, which is new people, new blood into your VIP group, and tempting them with a couple products that they're going to like. I think typically this is where you sell your best sold pieces. This is likely where you probably focus on the best sellers and the low ticket pieces, just because they're very, very easy. You do that. Good, good. You guys are doing it. You guys are rocking it. So, just finished a multi-vendor that's closing down. It's 6 new vendors and got some new members for my VIP group. That's a total win. Total win in my opinion. Okay, let me look through some of your questions, some of your comments. Recently did one. The key is a small group of vendors. Okay, so it was Monique that said that. They didn't have a lot of competition with one another. That's true. Ask the questions. If you're someone like me that has accessories, bags, skincare, some of those different like things, they compete with others in that group. So likely if I'm in there, maybe I wouldn't show bags if there's another bag vendor. Maybe I wouldn't show skincare if there's another skincare vendor. And again, I'm coming from a place where what I really want is new people into my VIP group. So but at the end of the day, when you go to those vendor events, I go there and there's 3 or 4 different jewelry people, and that's okay because I think other people have different styles and there's reasons why one person might want to buy from me versus buy from another person, and that doesn't necessarily bother me. Hard time booking a host. I think you mean hostess events. I like that. Working as a team with the other vendors, giving love to the other vendors. What she likely means by that is that you guys are all commenting on one another's posts inside that event. That is how you boost those Facebook algorithms. And when I do online parties, I tell my hostess, like, reach out to your 5 besties and I'll ask them to help break the ice inside this event so that we can kind of start building that participation. That would be a really powerful tool inside a multi-vendor event. If all of you like reached out to 5 people and got them to really play along, think about like, wow, that would be like the wowzer factor on all of those posts. So consider working with them behind the scenes and even sharing, not treating them like your hostesses, but you all kind of collaborate to get that. Here's the thing, when you start working with other vendors, pick their brains. What is working for them? What have they tried in the past? Like, other vendors are a gold mine of inspiration and information. So like, this is why I love meeting other people in the business, because I think whether they've been in business for 1 day or 10 years, there's something that I can learn from them. I have quarterly auction items and don't book vendors that compete with each other. Great. Quarterly auctions. I love that. I would love to hear more about quarterly auctions. I want to learn how the process, you guys, it's a really simple process. You're likely just setting up a Facebook group. I would make it closed. I would make a header on the top that showed all the different vendors. If it's possible, could you, like, let's say you gave every single person a day, on that header, could you say who was on what day? I love the one that I have coming up in September that I'm in. We all had to donate $10 and that goes towards giving a gift card that someone will win and needs to spend inside the event. I thought that was really fun and really easy. A good number of vendors, without making it confusing, would probably depend on the number of days. But let's say, like, if you did 5 days and 5 vendors, I think that could be really great. And really be selective when you're planning these, you guys. Be selective with who you're choosing. Who has big social circles that you would like to move into? Who has a really great style and a great voice that you think would bring energy to the event? Good, you guys, a lot of you have not done one. Maybe we need to have one in this group and figure out some kind of way to work together that way. We're planning one for September. Awesome, Nicole. Welcome any tips. You schedule a day for each person. I have seen them done both ways and I actually really like the flow of having everybody get their own day, because I find it's really, like, it doesn't get confusing from a Facebook standpoint. So I like that style, but I think most of them people get their own hour or 2-hour block throughout the day. Yes, Michelle, take the bull by the horns. And you guys, when you're planning them, it's always amazing to be the planner, because everybody comes to you, you get to know everybody else so much better. Does every vendor do a game or a couple of games? I really think that that's somewhat up to them, unless you want to give them suggestions. I know in the ones that I've been in the past, every vendor needs to do a giveaway and then contribute to a bigger giveaway. Oh, Kathy, you are not behind everyone. Trust me, we are all in the same boat, learning and pivoting and like growing, and we've all done something that somebody else has never done before. I do a draw myself at all vendor events. Yeah, I think we all, like, it's a great, like, the truth is people like to win prizes. So a draw to get them to enter into your VIP group. Whatever I say with a draw, do the biggest draw that you can. And oftentimes what I will do is do a draw for some, like a percentage off, because then I know that they need to shop and not just take their prize and run. 9 co-hosts. Woo, that's a lot. It's hard to control who comments, and when we do all day scheduled, we try to respect each other's days. Of course, it's impossible to control completely, but it works itself out as long as the vendors try to stay in their respective days and reply to customers' comments at the end of their days rather than the middle of while they were posting. I like this idea too. Amanda says that she had a behind the scenes group where they all work together. This would work inside a messenger like thread as well. Just make sure that all the vendors have the opportunity to connect and talk and work together. A great experience. See, you guys are loving them. Co-vendors, everything was organized in a way that each of us had slots on a daily basis without overlapping the other, and I had a chance to get one on live video to market and share our business. I think that the live video is absolutely key because they're going to get to know you a little bit more. They are going to see your it's the next best thing to seeing your products in person. And then I think the two things that you want to make sure that you do is a giveaway to join your VIP group. You want to go live inside that event, and 3, you want to get to know all the other vendors. If there was ever a tip in the world, those are the tips that I'm going to give you, along with having actual slots. I like that everybody has their own day, but that's just because I'm like anal retentive organized. So I think that's it, you guys. Let me know if you have any other questions. I can hop on live again, but I encourage you guys, maybe I'll throw up a post where everybody can share the tips that they have actually taken away from vendor events they've either planned or done, the best kind of posts that they've done that have gotten interactions, the best giveaways that you've done. I will throw that up, and then you guys can really like chat it out, work together, and maybe even get one another into some upcoming events, because we are still going to be running predominantly online businesses for the foreseeable future. This is a great way to expand your market fairly quickly. And yeah, lots of fun. I mean, consider some back to school ones as well, and back to fall. Everybody is in shopping mode. Closets are going to start to get turned over. Everybody gets into fall cleaning mode, organization mode. Life is going to get super duper hectic. So consider all these things. All right, you guys, hopefully that was helpful. I'm here to answer any questions, do any brainstorming, and I will throw up a post a little bit later so that you guys can all work together. Oh, you're so more than welcome, Kathy. I'll talk to you guys soon.